All right guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to talk about the latest install on my 4th-gen Tacoma, and that is going to be the Hooke off-road roof rack. And as you can see, it looks pretty good. You compare it over to a Prince rack. It's a similar style. Prince is a little bit more low profile, I would say, but design and the way you put it together is very, very similar. So let me pan to the side to show you how long it is. Now, off the bat, one thing I will say is the instructions for how to put this together were so-so. Wouldn't call them the best by any means. What helped is that I've actually put together a roof rack for the 4Runner, and it was similar, not the same, but similar. So the way the front guard goes on, similar. The way the rails go on, similar. Now the mounting portion to the vehicle is very different, and that's what I'll go over. Not that it's a problem, but it is different. So here on the Hooke, you see you have these spacers right here, right? These two silver spacers. So I wish they would have made those black, because it kind of would have made it integrate with the rack a little better. Then for your center portion, there's a little pad that goes here, and this is a push down, like basically like bump stop, so the rack doesn't flex. And then you go to your rear and you have those spacers again. And there's bolts obviously through the spacers that mount it. So if you go over to the Prince, the mounts are actually integrated with the side rails. So this is custom to where it's already gonna fit, and you can go left or right, push the rack over. But the spacers that go with this one are black, a little bit shorter, which makes the profile a lot closer. And then for your center, you have bolts again up here. And then for your front, they don't use like a bumper, they use like a 3M sticky tape. And like I said, this is a 4Runner, not a Tacoma. I'm just comparing the two different ways that they mount. So the Prince rack for the Tacoma may mount in a similar fashion. Okay, so moving on. Next thing is, I would say, construction. This thing is solid. There's no complaints about it. The mounted hardware for like the side rails is a little soft. And I say that as far as like how tough the bolts are, but honestly the Prince bolts weren't much better as far as how they were as well. So these aren't made for you to hammer these in with an impact. You torque these down with a torque wrench and you get it to the correct spec and you leave it. So one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to hit these with the impact. Same with the Prince, you don't want to do that. But overall, very solid construction. As you can see, I'll scan over the top of the rails. And another thing I do like is for this front part right here, the guard, there's actually, you can see there's a rail that's bolted on. So it's gonna be a little more rigid. It won't flex when you're driving down the highway. It also doesn't have a lot of road noise. And I think a lot of that is due to how low profile it is in the front, and then having that bar right there that keeps that front wind deflector solid all the way through. Another thing you'll notice, if you know about this rack, is it has a white emblem in the middle. So what I did is I didn't want a white emblem, so I flipped this around. The white emblem's on the inside. I kept it flat black all the way around. So overall, I really do like how it looks on the truck. I like the design of it, and I really like how durable it seems. I did not like the instructions, but like I said, the difference is, the biggest difference between mounting this on a Tacoma and a Prince on anything else is, if you look right here, these brackets, they're bolted right here, and you can move these left or right. So you actually have to measure to make sure that's aligned. Whereas the Prince is already hard mounted in, and you can put your bolts in the rack and then push it like over left or right very easily to align it on your roof. So this one took a little time to get centered on here. Not horrible, but like I said, overall, very good construction, very good looking rack, very good design. Let me scan over to the back to show you that. It's like a cap. And one thing I like about the back is it sticks out far enough to where if you were gonna lean something up here, you could lean it on top down to your bed, and you don't have to worry about it hitting your roof of your Tacoma. It also is high enough to where it blocks your shark antenna fin, So overall, very nice rack. You'll have to put it together on the ground. I would say in your house if it's hot like Texas. Then you have to ask someone to help you carry it out because it is not a light rack. Same with a lot of racks you put on vehicles. They're just not very light. So it's a 2-person lift to put it on your truck, and also make sure you don't scratch it up. But overall, great design. I think it looks great on Tacoma. And price point. This with a coupon on Amazon was $280, and it shipped, got to my house in 2 days. So no complaints there on price, no complaints on shipping. The box wasn't destroyed. So overall, from shipping to put it on, the only gripe I have is the instructions. Other than that, I think it's a fantastic rack. Like I said, I've already driven 75 miles an hour on the highway, no wind noise. And if there is, it's very minimal. I can't hear it inside the cab. So overall, so far, I give this 5 stars out of 5. I will do reviews based on like 6 months, a year, and see how it holds up, but I don't foresee any issues with this. Just by the way it's made, it's just super solid and good design. I will probably end up pulling these out and painting these black just because I don't like the silver, but 5 for 5 as far as build quality and looks on the Tacoma.